What's up, road dogs? All right, on today's video, I'm going to talk about my top 3 scariest moments in my trucking career right here on the OTR Experience. All right, guys. I got 3 stories that are my top 3 in my career. I'm going to start with 3 and I'm going to go up to 1. Least scariest to the scariest. All right. The first one is I don't know exactly what year it was, but I was working with Prime and I was in Lincoln, Nebraska. I had just finished a 10-hour break. Got up, went and got me some burritos in the little truck stop there. Sitting in my truck eating, and this dude come up and asked for my help. It was a white guy, older white guy, and I was like, all right, I can help you. And I got out, and the problem he had was he had locked his keys in the car. And the only way that he could get in the car to unlock it was he had to go through the trunk. Okay. And so he was like, he was old. This dude was pretty old. And he needed my help to push him through the trunk, through the back seat, and he could get in that way. So that's what I did. He climbed in the trunk, and put the muscle on him and pushed him through. He unlocked the door, got out, and we started chit-chatting. We started talking about a book that he was supposed to be coming out with. He was traveling all across America, and writing about his stories. And actually, he said that was one of the stories that he was going to write about. Haven't heard about that book, but it's been, 5 years, 6 years or so since that happened. But as we sat there and, we were talking, 3 police cars pull up. And we're looking like, what the hell going on? They get out the car. One guy had his gun drawn. And, we looking crazy. And they looking crazy too. And so I asked him, I said, can I help y'all? What's going on? He was like, well, we got a call that there was a black guy that was kidnapping this man, putting him in a trunk. And I was like, what? So I called the guy. I was like, look, man, let's explain it. So we explained it to him, and they laughed it off. And, they went on about their business. We started talking again, and, we went our separate ways. But I always look back at that story and think about it could have went differently, but I think I handled it well. And it was a pretty scary moment at first, but it ended in laughter, and everybody went their separate ways, and it all worked out. All right, the number 2 most scariest story. This is actually the most recent one. This one happened in 2016. I was working with Snyder. I had a load that I had to deliver. I was delivering somewhere in Tennessee. And so I'm going down the highway. It's dark as shit. Going down the highway, and it feels, how you're on the highway and you feel like you pretty much the only person on the highway? Well, I had that feeling that night. I was pretty much the only person on the highway. And I'm going down the highway, and I didn't think about it at the time, but as I'm going down the highway, I seen a car. And it was on the shoulder, but not straight on the shoulder. It was kind of like with the nose to the grass. and there was a door wide open, and you could tell the car was still crunk because you had the exhaust, and the lights were still on. And I was like, dog, I didn't think about it, but I thought in my head, like, oh, that's weird. And as I'm going down the road, I remember looking to turn up or turn down my radio. And as I did that, I looked back up, and there was a guy standing in the middle of the highway. I don't know. I wish I had a dash cam back then to show y'all this. But there was a guy standing in the middle of the highway doing this. He was doing this. And I ain't gonna say I had a split second to react, but I had a limited time to react. And I swerved over into the left lane. Got my truck back straight. I was actually on the phone with my wife at the time. And I was just completely shocked. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I pull over. And once I get stopped, my mind gets to working and I'm making the connections. This guy must be broke down and he needed some help. But with him doing what he was doing, I was thinking like he needed some serious help. Somebody was either trying to kill him or something was going on. And I don't know what made me stop, but I stopped. And I got out, and I really wasn't sure if this guy was going to be trying to hurt me or something like that. So I kind of walked down the edge of the trailer and stopped. And as he walked up on me, and he walked up on me, and right away I noticed that dude was drunk. You know how you can smell, you feel like you can smell like alcohol through somebody's skin? Like, that's how it was. It was crazy. I mean, this guy was sloppy drunk. He was actually going up to the next exit, which was like another mile. And he was so drunk, it's crazy to think that he actually almost made it. And being the good guy that I am, I said, you know what? He was like, can I help him? I was like, you know what, dude, I'll help you. Because I thought to myself, I could have killed him. And if I don't help him, this dude might die tonight. So I said, you know what, forget company policy. I'm gonna help this dude. So I got him up, helped him up in the truck. I got in the truck, went up to the next exit. I mean, it was probably less than a mile. Pulled off, let him off at a little store, and we went our separate ways. And it was a scary moment, but you know, it was one of the moments that happened, and you just got to move on from it, you know. And you know, last but not least, the scariest, and I mean the scariest moment in my trucking career. It happened when I first started driving trucks back in 2010. I was with Prime. Okay. And with Prime, when you training, I don't know if they do this now, but then they did it. Okay. We went like a team. It wasn't no, I'm driving while he's sitting there in the seat watching me all day. No. When he went to sleep, I was driving. And my trainer had me driving at night. The whole time I was training, I drove at night. And it was one of them things where I thought, you know, it's what I got to do to get in the game. This is what I got to do. This is what I'm going to do. I was struggling at the time at McDonald's and all that stuff, and I wasn't going back to that shit. So I did what I had to do. And I would drive. I mean, he expected me to drive, you know, pretty close or more than 700 miles a night. And I was doing that. I would pull up in a little, and this was before the 8-hour break. Well, you had to take a little 30-minute break. This was before that. You could drive as long as you want, as long as you kept it within 11. And I used to pull up into a little truck stop, you know, run into the side, run in the bathroom, wash my face, while I pull in the little lane, sit for 15 minutes, get out and walk and stuff. And I knew that throughout those nights, I was getting tired, but it was a grind. I had a laser focus, you know. One morning, I had been driving all night. I remember being 7 miles away from the rest area where me and him were going to switch. And I'm going down the highway. I remember I'm in the right lane. I'm going down the highway. And I remember he was already up. He had the curtains open just like this. He was up. I was driving. And I remember looking into the mirror and seeing a van, like he was getting over into the left lane to get ready to pass me. And that is the last thing I remember. That's the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember from that moment, the next thing that I remember is the loud buzzing sound. And if you work for Prime, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you cross a line on the road, any one of the lines, without turning your signal on, it's going to be a loud buzzer from the side that you crossed. And when my truck swerved over, the loud buzzing noise came on. I'm going to say this. I was asleep. Sleep at the wheel. Sleep at the wheel. Gone. I couldn't have been gone for that long. Buzzer sounds. Startles me. I wake up. Boom. Hands back on the wheel or whatever. And I look into the, I scrape my truck out, look into the mirror, and that car is kind of somewhat, probably a third of the way up. So I probably fell asleep for maybe 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And I got it straight. I'm going down the road again. And my trainer, he didn't know nothing. But he jokingly said, "Hey, Harvey, you ain't fell asleep up there, have you?" And I'm thinking in my mind, like, shit, you just don't know. And so I made it to the rest area and let him, we switched. From that day forward, I never drove like that again, even up until this day. I don't just drive myself crazy because that scared the shit out of me. You have no control over when your body says sleep. When I started training, I would tell my trainees, if you feel like you're getting sleepy, you feel like you're getting tired, pull over. I don't care if you pull over on the shoulder. I don't care if you pull over in a rest area, at a Walmart, truck stop. It doesn't matter. Pull over, wake me up, let me know what's going on. I wish my trainer would have told me that, but he didn't. Okay. So with that said, man, I hope maybe y'all learned something from those experiences. But I just wanted to share those stories with you guys. I'm telling you, being OTR is an experience. That's why I chose the name of this channel to be the OTR experience. It is an experience.